Well, guys, the race over Speaker of the House here in Missouri is getting hot. You were not going to believe this statement that the Jackson County GOP just put out, totally rejecting their own state rep, Jon Patterson, in favor of Justin Sparks as Speaker of the House. This document is total fire. I'm going to read it to you line by line here in a moment. More on that in just a minute. Guys, if you're not sure what I'm talking about, we have a great big video that documents this entire situation. It'll be pinned in the comment section down below. Check it out for all the details. The short version is really simple. Missouri is a pro-gun state. Missouri is a red state. Missouri is a pro-freedom state. And we elected a supermajority to go and do those big, bold, conservative Republican things in 2025. But Jon Patterson, the current majority floor leader in the Missouri House, is the opposite of all those things. The guy is terrible. The short version, he's terrible on guns. He's terrible on pro-life. He voted no on the bill to ban gender mutilation on minor children here in Missouri. He voted no on IP reform. And he's terrible on every issue you can possibly think of. Oh, yeah, and he's a never-Trumper. Other than that, the guy's great. Other than that, Jon Patterson is fantastic. And so the bottom line here is very simple. If Jon Patterson becomes Speaker of the House, then all gun bills are dead for the next 2 years. If Patterson becomes Speaker of the House, everything good, everything conservative, everything red that we all care about is dead. And so as Iowa gets redder, as Arkansas gets redder, as Oklahoma gets redder, as Tennessee, all these states around us will continue to get redder and redder and redder and better for gun owners and conservatives in general. But Missouri is going to stagnate because Jon Patterson is a freaking Democrat in any other state besides Missouri, but he is very close to becoming Speaker of the House. Now, Representative Justin Sparks from St. Louis County, who was primaried by the Patterson machine and won his primary earlier this year. Sparks is challenging Jon Patterson as Speaker of the House. And he is taking tremendous flack from the lobby corps right now in the media here in Missouri for doing so. But Justin knows what we all know. If we don't deal with this, if we don't have an actual conservative as Speaker of the House, all the good things are dead. Again, in the video below, we give bill numbers, we give dates, we give times. Check it out for lots of details on what an absolute scoundrel Jon Patterson has been. But you don't have to take my word for it. You don't have to trust me at all. You can listen word for word, line by line, to the Jackson County GOP's public statement rejecting their own state rep, Jon Patterson, in favor of Justin Sparks to be Speaker of the House. Again, I want to be very clear on this. Jon Patterson is the state rep from Jackson County. This is his own area, his own backyard. These are his colleagues. And they have come out with a blistering statement rejecting this guy. And not for nothing, but so is Franklin County. And let's see what else. Camden County. And others are doing this as we speak. Listen to this statement. I'm going to read it for you guys line by line. If you don't have time for this, you don't want to hear it, if you're already convinced, hit the link below and send your pre-written email telling your state rep they had better vote for Justin Sparks to be Speaker of the House. If they vote for Jon Patterson, then everything bad that Patterson does for the next 2 years, if he becomes Speaker of the House, your state rep is on the hook for. Every good thing that Jon Patterson tanks or destroys over the next 2 years, your state rep is on the hook for if he votes for Patterson. That's your message to them. If you have no more time, hit that link, send your email, make some phone calls, hit them on social media, make your voice heard, and tell these people that just like Trump has a mandate to kick down the door in D.C. and do big, bold things, we expect Republicans in Missouri who have also been given that mandate to do big, bold things. And if they block them, there's going to be hell to pay in the primaries, just like there was in 24, just like there was in 22, just like there was in 2020. The pain will not end for these rhinos. So here is this statement. I love it. It's a thorough comprehensive overview of all the betrayal that these people have experienced from their own state rep. It's signed, you can see here, it's signed by all of these members of the Jackson County GOP, that page, and then all these names here. This is all over social media. You can find it online for yourself. But let me read it for you in my never nicotine-stained fingers. Okay. Resolution of the Jackson County Republican Central Committee. The Jackson County Central Committee, listed here below, are endorsing Justin Sparks for Speaker of the Missouri House. And again, just remember, their own state rep is Jon Patterson. Whereas the Republican Party is the party of the people that represents the will of thousands of grassroots Missourians. Whereas Representative Justin Sparks has our support for leadership in the Missouri House to ensure the priorities of we the people are faithfully carried out. Whereas Representative Jon Patterson has demonstrated his betrayal of the principles of the party platform by his vote against the SAFE Act and IP reform. Whereas Jon Patterson notified Missouri that if Amendment 3, which allows abortion here in Missouri, passed, he committed to doing nothing to put guardrails in place. He committed to not addressing the gaps left and the need for definitions from being litigated. Whereas Representative Jon Patterson has demonstrated a complete lack of commitment to our party platform values by going on the record in the U.S. news media stating that if an individual did not take the, we'll call it the Rovid vaccination, I got to be careful how I phrase that, the Rovid vaccination, they should not be considered for medical procedures such as organ transplants. Whereas Representative Jon Patterson's actions by pulling House Bill 1708, which repealed gun-free zones, killing House Bill 1651, this is one of our bills, to ban red flag gun seizures, and killing House Bill 2559, which would enhance stand your ground law, also one of our bills, is a betrayal of the principles of the Republican Party platform and the Second Amendment to our U.S. Constitution. Almost done. Whereas Representative Jon Patterson has demonstrated a complete lack of commitment to the party's leadership by failing to endorse President Trump. And whereas the Republican voters of Jackson County, Missouri demand leadership in the Missouri House that unequivocally supports the party platform values, therefore, here we go, be it resolved that the Jackson County Republican Central Committee calls upon the members of the Missouri House to support Representative Justin Sparks as Speaker of the House, recognizing his steadfast support of the Republican Party platform and its values. 2 paragraphs left. Be it further resolved that the Jackson County Republican Central Committee denounces Representative Jon Patterson for his lack of loyalty to his Republican constituents and his failure to represent the will of the Republican voters. Be it finally resolved that a copy of this will be transmitted to the members of the Missouri Republican Party and all relevant media outlets to ensure the voice of Jackson County Republicans is heard. That is what is going on right now in Jon Patterson's backyard. They know this man at a granular level, and they have totally rejected him. Totally rejected him. So if you are a Republican state rep right now and you're watching this, and we all know what's going to happen, you're all going to be sent this video, and you're going to see it, and you're going to watch it. Right now, you're sitting here trying to figure out how big of a deal this is going to be. You know, we're going to be in session pretty quick. This vote's going to happen on day one, and it's going to be gone in the rearview mirror. And you're trying to decide right now, can I weather this storm and just move on? And some of my conservative friends in the Missouri House are also publicly taking stands in support of Jon Patterson because you are afraid that your bills are going to die under a Patterson administration. You are afraid you're not going to get plum committee assignments if you don't toe the party line. I'm going to tell you right now, if you haven't smelled the tea leaves yet here in Missouri, if you haven't seen what happens to rhinos in primaries, you got to get with the program. You got to get your phone out and hop on Google. Look at what happened to Lincoln Huff. He's a party machine, and the voters kicked him to the curb in the primary. Look at what happened to Mary Elizabeth Coleman. Look at what happened to Eric Greitens. Look at what happened to all of these big name rhinos who tried to run state. Look what happened to Dean Plocker, for heaven's sakes. The guy had millions in the bank. He came in, fifth in an 8-way contest? An embarrassment. Voters are not going to tolerate this crap. And don't forget, if you're a Republican state rep, don't forget this. The background of all of this is President Donald J. Trump, who is kicking down the door in D.C. He has conditioned Republicans all across this country to be hungry for big things. He has made all of us lust over big Republican agenda items to right the ship. And that dang sure applies here in Missouri. So if you think you're going to stab gun voters in the back, just briefly, really quick, just a one-time deal in January by backing Jon Patterson, and you think that's not going to come back to hurt you in 2026 in your primary, you better think twice. You better think twice. Folks, this will be decided not by the members of the Missouri House, but by we the people. You have got to get involved in this fight. Take a moment, hit the link, send your pre-written email to your state rep and tell him or her you expect them as your representative to vote for Justin Sparks as Speaker of the House. Now, for incoming freshmen, their emails are not yet in our system. We have to wait for the Missouri House to do their thing. If they're a freshman incoming, then call them on the phone, hit them on social media, find them on X, Facebook, whatever it is, and make your voice heard. Tell them very clearly what you expect of them and remind them that the trajectory for Republican rhinos here in Missouri is not very good in the Republican Party primaries. Just ask around. Guys, that's what we have time for today. More coming on this later on. This is a breaking news situation. Get the word out, share the video, and we'll keep you guys informed. Take care.